Well, I'm with the Oracle of Sear, and as we think about bowing before the Oracle of Omaha, I'm bowing before Doug. And I'm asking him, there's been some shows so far this year that are looking good. The first news out of CES is that they got 140,000. Whoo, that looks good. Talk to our readership about the forecast that you're thinking that's going to be happening for this year.
It's been a good 21 days at the point we're recording this. I'll have to say that. That's good news because that's better than 21 not so good days.
Right.
I back up just a little bit in terms of reminding folks where we were. After 9 consecutive quarters of negative performance, a record for our industry. You remember in 01-02, it was only 7 negative quarters.
Mm-hmm.
By the middle of 2010, we'd had 9 consecutive quarters. The third quarter surprised us. We moved into some black numbers in all categories. Actually, the second quarter, attendance had moved into positive territory, which was a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
All indicators moving positive was an equally good sign. Our third quarter had been our worst quarter traditionally, so it has the furthest to go. So maybe it shouldn't be a surprise that it was the first to show some positive signs. We're still waiting for the fourth quarter results and hope they hold up as well. But more importantly is going to be the first quarter of 2011. The first quarter is our biggest quarter. There are a number of industry bellwether shows held in the first quarter. There's a significant number of building and construction shows held in the first quarter. And of course, that segment was the segment that led us into decline and hopefully is going to be the segment that led us out. It led us out of the decline in 2003. So we're looking hard at that segment to begin to show some strengthening for our overall industry. During our forecast in 2008, we had originally projected no real recovery until 2012. We're hopeful now that 2011 will perhaps accelerate that a little bit and certainly show us marching on the right trail to achieve some real recovery in 2012. Remember, our industry's down north over 15%.
Yeah.
So the idea that it might totally recover within 1 year is pretty optimistic. In the last decline, which began recovery in the first quarter of 2003, we were back fully recovered to pre-2000 levels at the end of 2004. So it took 7 quarters to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So since it was down 7 quarters, it took 7 to get back up. Our real test this time is if we can be back to pre-2008 levels in 9 quarters, starting with the third quarter of 2010, we'd be delighted. We'd also see maybe a historic pattern that really does help us measure the resiliency of our industry. We've always known the industry resisted decline, and it was resilient in recovery. There are those that think the challenges are different today, the competition's different today, the people's outlook on marketing is different today, and therefore we shouldn't expect the same kind of a recovery that we experienced in 2003 through 2004. We'll see. We'll see. Certainly there are those of us that hope that pattern repeats itself.
Good. Thanks, Doug.